Um, when I was talking just before, I took a pause. When I was talking about fractals and, bilocations and codes almost fitting identical other situations, but never quite right, being right until divine timing comes into play, until existence catches up with reality, and then you see, like, oh my god, yeah, of course that was what the codes meant and not all those 16 other guesses. um, I paused because I'm thinking, hang on a minute, have I just proven my theory wrong that multiple dimensions can't exist? Because they can't. But then I've just worked it out, as as they're saying, but that's why it can't exist. See, when my codes have proven that when you make the wrong choice, or when you make assumptions, when you make the wrong move or head in the wrong direction in your life, it drags time out, it slows everything down, and that's why we have karmic loops. The universe is presented to you by the letter K. And remember, in that I have the diagram of the letter K, and it's like it's got the ascension part of the equation has the rings going up, and the descension part of the equation has the rings going down. Well, it's the same thing in my physics when it comes to multiple timelines and weaving the thread of your reality, sewing it into the timeline of existence and all of that. When you make wrong choices or decisions, you will weave a thread into the fabric of your timeline, but it's not necessarily the thread that is conducive to the path or course or destiny that you're meant to be on. And you'll think you're in the right job, the right relationship, the right theories, working on the right formula. You'll think, yep, those codes are that, which I have done multiple times, and it's kind of fit, but then it hasn't fit more than another thing that's happened that fit even more than the first one that I thought fit. And that keeps happening. And I was talking about they became stepping stones to me figuring out, oh, that's actually what it was for realsy. Like, this is it. That is what the codes meant. When you get to that point, time speeds up, and you start to receive the rewards of getting out of the karmic loop, which is what the rings are on, that the universe is presented with by the letter K. I'll put a link. So the karmic loops. And just like when I've gotten my codes kind of right, but not quite right, it slowed the process of my manifestation and my evolution, and the time theorem, it slowed it all down, because your soul can only exist in one life path at once. And when we time travel, the easiest way to do it is when we aren't constrained by the weight of gravity, which our body relies solely on gravity. Our planet relies solely on gravity to keep us all in place. And when you add things, when you add weight to your soul, when you add baggage to your journey that doesn't need to be there because you're not listening to the signs, or you've gotten it wrong, or you're taking ages to make a choice, blah, 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 it's adding more baggage on, which weighs you down, which pulls everything in the universe further down. It weighs everything down and slows evolution down and slows time down, because I only get to evolve when other people evolve along with me, because it's people who finally get it with me that go, oh, she was innocent. Well, that changes everything, and then history changes, and then I win. And I'm on the other end of the scale. I'm on the ascending scale, and those that need to be held accountable for their karma are then on the descending scale, because then justice balances out the evolution of our karmic universe. And when my codes have gone kind of down the right path, like how it was with Trump, like there's you're not seeing everything, you're not seeing the bigger picture. It's making assumptions, it's jumping in before you've gotten all the answers. I jumped in before I was able to see the bigger picture, but it's not because I was bad or wrong or not not very good at it. It's because I was having to figure this out as I went, and it was meant to happen exactly like that, because all the mistakes I made helped me figure everything out to get it right. Nobody gets it right the first time, especially not in science. You know, people who invented like the greatest, most famous things ever all started out with a prototype. Well, everything I've been putting up has been a prototype of my God physics. But now I understand it. So here I was thinking, okay, was that a multi-dimensional thing? But no, that's the point. Because when you go down the wrong path, it splits time apart, it splits the timeline apart, and it drags everything down. It makes it heavier. It adds weight by adding threads to your timeline that draws it out and slows it down, and it stretches it until you finally get back on the path, until you're finally like knocked back on course by then realizing, okay, so it wasn't that, it was that, you know, because that's, you'll see a lot of my stuff with the poster where I'll go, okay, so I thought it was that, or oh my god, so that's what that was, or I'll be like, haha, I knew this because look, here's the codes, and then something else will happen that fits that event, it fits a new event even more, and it's like, oh, okay, so maybe, because then that's when I started realizing that it is possible to see multiple timelines at once to do with other people, because those other people, once I predict that timeline, once I see that timeline, they immediately become drawn into my karmic thread, into my they get woven into the thread of my timeline, my evolutionary timeline, because they're in my history now. They're forever marked in history on the internet, connected to me just by me mentioning their name in my science and my jumps and my revelations and all of that. But as a scientist and as a woman of God, I also have to correct any mistakes that I make. And it's not that I made mistakes, it's just that I was jumping the gun. But I was supposed to jump the gun, because it was in making these mistakes, well, they weren't mistakes, in recorrecting how I saw the codes, how I read the codes that were being fed to me through my timeline. It created everything to fall into place, to create a domino effect, which led to the revelation of the true meaning of the code. And then, because every time I get it right, I get rewarded, which is why I was seeing these little pockets of miracles all the last week and a half, because I've been getting stuff right, so I've been getting rewarded. They feed me, I call them my Scooby snacks. When I get something right in my physics, when I get something right out there, I get rewarded for it. They give me little treats like a friggin' like I'm Scooby-Doo. They're my Scooby snacks. So I've obviously passed, you know, this last test, and as a reward, the Council of Elders have granted me the full vision of what it is I've been developing this whole time, right in front of people. So it's quite exciting. It's yeah, I can't wait to see where this goes next. I wonder who I'm going to end up working with, because it's here. It's definitely here. So yeah, so multi-dimensions, they can't exist. It's not possible, because it weighs down, it bears weight on the gravity of your soul, and then it tears timelines apart and causes tears in the fabric of time, which is what I've been saying all along. So this absolutely proves that we can't exist in multiple dimensions. The soul cannot exist in multiple dimensions, but we can exist in multiple realities going down the wrong timeline, which is what causes the tear. And then it creates karma, because we're not learning the lesson. And when something is repeated over and over and over again, you know, same situation, different people, whatever, same kind of thing, different outcome, same story, different ending, sort of thing. It creates karma for us, because we're here to get it right this time. And when we don't get it right, we just create more lessons for ourselves. So with me getting my codes wrong, it made the work harder, I had to work 10 times harder than what I had if I had just stayed on course the first time and followed my intuition and not, let myself get distracted by um, trying to hurry up and prove my stuff right. It's just I'm really keen to get out of here, guys. I'm trying to, and I can't hurry it up, and that's my point. That's the whole thing. You can't hurry fate. You can't hurry your evolution. Everything has to happen when it's meant to, and if it's meant to. But you guide your course every step of the way, and when you get it wrong, you cause tears in the fabric of time for everybody, and it slows everything down. And we're supposed to be all evolved and catching up together. So yeah, multiple dimensions can't exist. It's like, imagine you're the tree, and evolution and existence are the branches and the leaves. You're the trunk of the tree, you're the roots, your ancestors are the roots, and you're the trunk, and your timeline and everybody else's timeline are the branches and, stalks and leaves and fruits and all animals and that, whatever is attached to the tree. But at the core center of who you are, you're the trunk. But if that trunk was to go off and exist on its own, away from, what am I trying to say? Hang on, let me figure this out. If that tree tries to exist, if the roots try to grow and exist on its own without the branches and leaves and twigs, nothing would come from it. It would just keep growing straight up, straight up, straight up, straight up. That's kind of how time works. Like that trunk, the roots of that trunk, it becomes like the original thread. And when the branches grow and when everything grows on it, it roots the tree down. It like plants the tree down. It holds the tree down. But how far would a tree grow if it had nothing holding on to it? I'm speaking metaphorically, obviously. How far could a tree grow if it had nothing growing in it, boring into it, clinging onto it? If it just grew and grew and grew and grew and grew and grew. Still maintained life, still created life, but didn't have anything clinging onto it. And you look at whales, when they have all the, that stuff stuck to them and they're in pain and it's, holding them back and they call out for help and that sort of thing. When you remove the barnacles, when you remove the baggage, when you remove everything that's weighing you down, your growth becomes linear. It becomes single focused, straight up, becomes a single thread based in the roots of whatever it was that created you or planted you. But I'm talking metaphorically because obviously we need trees, but I'm trying to build a picture in your head so that you can visualize it in your head, because I can't do maths, remember, so I have to explain everything using language. So obviously I know we need trees, and without trees we wouldn't have other trees and all of that, but I'm just speaking metaphorically because I can't think of anything else that is organic, that starts from a seed, plants roots, and then, grows, like can grow as big as like redwoods and kauri trees and all of that. So mighty oaks. And it's like I say, how far would a sneeze travel if it had nothing to stop it? If things went in the way of a sneeze, when you sneezed, how far would that sneeze go? If there was no floor, no ground, no walls, no objects, if there was nothing to hit to stop it from travelling, how far would a sneeze travel? Well, that's evolution. That's time. How far would time travel when there's nothing getting in its way? So when you make the wrong choices, you're putting obstacles and paths in your way that don't need to be there. So you're slowing your process down, you're slowing the journey down, which is why the codes didn't quite fit, even though they did fit, but didn't quite fit in comparison to the actual final piece of the jigsaw. So yeah, and we can't be having tears in the fabric of time, because then that exposes us to black holes, and then we become antimatter, because we get sucked into the void of karmic repetition, where it just energetically wears you down more and more and more and more, to the point where you energetically fade out and become nothing, and then that's when you get sucked into the void and become the black hole, the matter in the black hole that gets chewed up and spat back out, and then you're forced to start again. Because our universe is on its 8th cycle now, 7th or 8th cycle. So how many more cycles have we got? Our planets are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Some of them have turned into gas. So, we need to figure it out, because we've got to get through those wormholes, because there's brand new beautiful universes that have already been created on the other side of those wormholes, and we're too busy fighting wars with Russia and Yemen and all that to show who's got the biggest willy, while he's trying to save children and soldiers from having their Ukrainian soldiers, I might add, having their organs harvested, and that, while he's trying to actually save people's lives, he's getting accused of taking them when it's not even his fault. He's trying to defend mankind against people who are hell-bent on trying to destroy it. So, seeing is believing, and I've just shown you. I've shown you how it works. So now I've figured it all out for you. I've got to find investors. I've got to get this show on the road, literally. I've got to get out of here. I've got to get justice. This is why I'm trying to hurry everything up, and I apologise, Lord, and ancestors, I shouldn't have done that. But I was learning as I went. I didn't know. But I know now. But now I do know. I'm fine. I know. Like, I'm not questioning or judging anything. It's not that I'm impatient, it's that I'm excited, because I'm starting to see everything manifest, and I'm keen to get, now I know what I want the quantum menace to look like in the video game, and that how I want it to be in the world, and that, like, I'm excited to get the comic book made, I'm excited to get the video game made, I'm excited to get the movie made. I just want to get this stuff made because I'm excited. I'm like a greyhound, or like a horse at the racetrack, waiting for that light to go, me, off chasing the rabbit. I'm rearing to go, and so I'm just trying to hurry it along, and I shouldn't be doing that, so I apologise. But I've had fun doing it, so I hope my father finds this determination, and I must be exerting a lot of fire element, because it's determination and force and drive and excitement, and yeah, come on, let's do this. I'm ready. So yeah, so there we go. Multiple dimensions can't exist because they tear a fabric in the timeline, and it's only when it's all flat and smooth with no bumps and holes in it that we're able to weave a single thread from what it is that the universe has tried to create before. So the soul is happiest, the soul is at its freest, time is at its most expansive when nothing is holding it back or weighing it down. So let go of the baggage, people, just let it go. Just don't stress about the things you can't control, and the things that you can control, make sure that every step you take, every choice you make, I'll be watching you. That's funny. Is based on what feels right, not what you think is right. Do what feels right, not what you think is right, and do what is best for everyone, not what is easiest for you. And it makes time work a little faster, and it makes you see things a little differently. So, okay, I'm going to go now. Gosh, I've been rabbiting on. Because I'm getting excited because I'm about to see my boys. Okay, so I'll leave you with those bit of food for thought for Easter. I will speak to you later. Ka kite anō.